Okay, so I will start from what dosage forms are. Dosage forms are the ways or means by which the medicines are administered or are taken. So the form that the product comes out, that is what we say is a dosage form. So people may categorize some as liquid, solid, semi-solid, gaseous dosage forms. Other people too may want to categorize it by the way by which they are administered. So they will say oral, topical, rectal, optical, that is on the eyes, optic in the ears and all that. So the dosage forms are just the way the drugs are administered. And then, so let's come to herbal dosage forms. Herbal dosage forms are a lot. From the ancient times, we have various types, and the most commonest one out of them all were the decoctions, where the products, plant materials are boiled in water, and then they are taken. It is the most commonest form. The teas are there, where they are infused, we call them infusions. The tinctures, the bitters, where people soak in alcohol over some time and take ointment. In fact, there are a lot. But the most current ones or modern ones, we will say are the capsules, people trying to make capsules, granules, suppositories, and all those ones. So I'll just say with the herbal dosage forms, those are the dosage forms. I forgot a popular one in the olden days, which are NMS. NMS, which are a very popular dosage form that people use to remove waist pains, take care of waist pains and all. And you know, it is interesting. In the modern day, that is what has been turned into what we call suppositories. That's you prepare the product for insertion into the rectum. Yes, so it has evolved over time, but the modernization has come to add on to what already existed. Yeah. So it looks like the decoctions have come to stay, because from ancient times, the decoctions were the most commonest ones. People will go for the leaves themselves, root, bark, and then boil and drink. Up to today, decoctions are still very common. The modern thing that has happened to it is that now people produce it and package it in bottles so that they can be stored for longer. And so preservatives may be added. In the olden days, preservatives were not normally added. So in the house, it is drunk until it's finished in the pot, reheated and poured and drank again. But now it has evolved. The teas too have stayed over time, where the powders are just infused in water and then made into a tea and drank instead of boiling. And what has been modernized about it is that now they are put into tea bags, which makes the infusion quite neater, and then there is no need for straining as may have been done previously. So over the decades, I think these two have stayed. The bitters too have stayed. The only difference now is that in the olden days, when most people were storing the bitters, the plant material is still kept in the alcohol solution over the time. But now, the plant material is taken out after the extraction, and the product is sold as the bitters without the plant material components. That is the only difference. From my training, we were made to understand that a decoction is a concoction. It's a subset of a concoction. When people talked about concoction, a concoction was not made up of only plant materials. A concoction could have animal droppings, in fact, other stuff which are non-herbal added to them. So once it's like a mixture of certain elements, including plant materials, then they call it a concoction. So they may add some animal droppings, add some other things, maybe sand particles, something, and put it together as a mixture with plant materials inclusive. So I could only say a decoction may be a type of a concoction, but with only herbal materials. Yes. I think gradually we are moving towards the decoction line, because now people are particular about what they take in. So if they know the thing has other materials they don't expect, some people even used to add blood. The typical herbalist, let's say traditionalist, when they are doing their preparations, it is not only the herbal medicine, they add other ingredients that they believe have spiritual connotations and all that. But now, a lot of people will not want to take preparations that have such things in it. So when people are taking, they want to be sure that it is only plant materials that have been used and not other materials which are not needed in it. So gradually it's moving away from that. It's just that concoction notation makes it difficult for a lot of people to accept herbal medicine, with the idea that, maybe they might have added some animal droppings or some blood or some urine or some strange thing. So that belief, I think, may depend on each preparation that is made. One, I would say that in the olden days there was also various ways of preservation of herbal materials. Drying was one of them. Even the heating is a means of preserving. The only difference now is that with time, because we want to prepare the product in bulk to meet demand and we want it to stay for longer, then there is addition of preservatives. Let's say artificial preservatives, not natural ones. What is needed to be done is that when any preservative is to be used, it has to be studied with the preparation to check whether it interacts or it does not interact before it is used with it. Because not every preservative will suit every plant material. So if you do not want the efficacy of your preparation to be affected by any a sort of artificial material that is being added to it, because it is necessary to add, then you have to check and get the right expertise to check whether the preparation is compatible with that preservative before you use it. Yes, because otherwise you cannot tell whether it's affecting the efficacy or not. Yes. I see now in Ghana there is improvement. You see capsules, you see teas, a lot of teas, well bagged and well packaged. You see the bitters, you see all well packaged, the decoctions all well packaged. But I also say there is a very large room for improvement, because a lot more people still think that when it's herbal, it has to be crude or it doesn't have to look nice. And I always say that you can keep the preparation in its natural form by not affecting it. It is not compulsory to make a decoction out of everything because you want your packaging to be nice. Maybe just keeping it as a tea may prevent you from the need to use a preservative in its preparation and still the product will be nice. Or putting it in sachets that allow somebody to boil when they need. It's an improvement, makes the preparation look better without altering anything in it or without addition of any further preservative. So I would say there has been improvement, but there is still a lot more room for improvement because herbal medicine is widely used. And so the herbalists who produce are also many. So there is room for improvement, and I think with continuous training, we will be able to get there. So the first thing I think will be lack of knowledge. Yes, lack of knowledge, because many of the herbalists may not know that it is so easy to do. Yes, because sometimes when they see those dosage forms, tablets, capsules, and all that, they feel that it is out of this world and it may be very costly to get them done. But like I have said at the beginning, depending on your preparation, you may not necessarily need a tablet, but you could improve the outlook. You could improve the outlook of the preparation to make it better. You understand? So lack of knowledge is one. And then lack of proper structures to help make things easier for herbalists to follow. If, for instance, there are model facilities that a herbalist can just go, depending on his scale of production, because if somebody produces, say, 100 bottles of a product every month, and you model a facility that produces 10,000 bottles a month for him, he will never be able to get there. And he will think that it is difficult to do. But if the models are done based on the capacity, then it is easier for him to know that maybe I just need a sort of Veronica bucket to do my bottle filling, and just get my bottles, prepare my label, then I can do it. In addition, I think lack of logistics to help, and then expertise to help train the herbalists so that they will know how to do their labels and then put the correct dosage form on their products, because most of the time those mistakes are made. And so when the products go out, people think the herbalists are not serious people because the information provided on the label is not well organized. Yes. So I think those are some of the few challenges that come along in the industry. Center for Plant Medicine Research already organizes periodic trainings for herbalists. And then all these things that we have spoken about are part of what the herbalists are taught to do. Yes. For now, I can only mention the center because I know that's where the training goes. I know some of the universities also do trainings, but it may be more detailed and maybe beyond the capacity of most herbalists, because most herbalists are small-scale producers. They don't produce so much. So if you go and teach them large-scale production, when they are not there yet, it may be difficult for them to implement some of the things. So maybe more institutions can take it up to give herbalists training in aspects of their concern, as the center is also doing.